besides watching the games?
Sleep. Hey, there's no late game, so there's no excuse for you to not have plans later on. Sleep. Okay, sleep.
Sleep.
Sleeping.
Yeah.
Do what you want to do,
That's
man.
Michael Robinson.
Bring in the new year the way you want to bring in the new year.
Exactly.
Mike Garafolo, Steve Smith Sr.
I'm going to be snuggling with the wifey.
Boom.
You know what? It is cold everywhere, so you gotta do that.
Not
Maybe
Miami.
it's cold outside, not in Miami though. So a ton to still play for on this week 17. Let's get to the NFC wild cards, and it'll either be the Panthers or the Saints in that 5 seed. Whichever one doesn't win the division, the 6 seed will go to the Falcons or Atlanta. Now, if Atlanta wins, they're in. If not, that door is open for Seattle. The Panthers, they still have their sights set on the NFC South. All they need is Carolina is a win coupled with a New Orleans loss in Tampa. Ron Rivera's guys would love to host a playoff game, but they need a little help to make that happen. Step 1 of that equation, taking care of business today in Atlanta. Tiffany Blackman is live at Mercedes-Benz Stadium with more on today's matchup. And Tiff, some big players need to step up in this game, so that means all eyes on Cam Newton.
Yeah, it certainly does, Colleen. And it's no secret that quarterback Cam Newton, he is from Atlanta. He lives here during the offseason. And this week he shared that last offseason was extremely miserable for him. And you can be certain that the Falcons Super Bowl season had something to do with that. Well, Newton, when he steps into Mercedes-Benz Stadium for the first time today, he says he's looking to make some more memories, some more lasting memories. And he is playing some of his best football right now. He is just 47 rushing yards away from the most rush yards he's had ever in a season. And the last time he faced the Falcons, he ran for 86 yards and a touchdown. Falcon safety Ricardo Allen told me, you have to stop Cam. He's on his game right now. Colleen?
What a game that was, Tiffany. 201 rushing yards for the Panthers in that one. Thanks, Tiff. Since week 10, the Panthers own the hottest offense in the NFC. They're scoring over 30 points per game. They lead the league in rushing with just 3 giveaways. That's impressive.
That's very impressive.
So, Steve, I'm going to start with you. How do the Falcons stop the Panthers offense today? What can they do?
Well, they need to get some pass rush. They need to get some pressure on Cam, get him off his spot, get him very uncomfortable. And also they need to make they need to create some takeaways. They are non-explosive. When you compare this team to the deep run they had last year and why they were in the Super Bowl game in the first half, is because they were creating explosive plays, takeaways on the defense, but also they were moving the ball down the field very effectively and explosively, causing a ton of havoc plays and big explosive plays. They are non-existent right now, and that becomes an issue and why they're struggling throughout the year and have come down to their playoff hopes, have come down to 1 game. And I'm not sure they're going to be able to do it today.
Well, you talk about being explosive. To me, that's the issue with this Carolina Panthers offense. I mean, really, when you look at Cam Newton in his MVP season in 2015, he had a passer rating of 110.2.
Dude, he was slinging
on deep passes, on explosive passes down the football field. This year, it's 51.4. And see, what happens is when you don't have that explosive nature in your offense, the defense starts to sit at the sticks. The extra defenders start to get involved in the box. You talked about earlier that they rushed for 201 yards the first time they played the Atlanta Falcons. Do you not think that the Atlanta Falcons are going to be loaded up for that run game?
And that run defense has been better over the last 5 weeks.
The run defense has been better because they've tackled a lot better. But for me, the Carolina Panthers, to back this defense up off of them, to create that space for Cam Newton to run for those 47 yards so he can have the most rushing yards of his career, they have to be explosive in the passing game. If they don't do that, they don't have a chance running the football effectively.
I'm flipping to the other side of the football, and I'm watching Julio Jones because he's got those ankle and thumb injuries, which I sort of poo-pooed last week, but that thumb injury, I'm told, is a legit deal.
Oh,
but
really?
you go back to the first meeting between these two guys, and you look at this play. At the time, the Falcons trailing by 10. This would have cut it to 3 in the fourth quarter. I saw quotes from the Panthers players this week saying, we looked up and said, how is he this wide open on 4th down when this should be the only guy that you're watching? And they said, please drop it, please drop it. And the guy that you would least expect to drop it, dropped it. And if you do not think that this play right there is on this man's mind this this week as he comes in and he battles through those injuries to the tune of 7 catches and 149 yards last week. So even though he is dealing with some legitimate stuff, was able to really turn it up last week. If you don't think that catches on his mind, knowing that he can make amends for it today, you don't know Julio Jones.
Now, the Panthers defense, we talked about it a little bit earlier. They do have 12 takeaways in their last 5 games. But when you look at the other numbers for them, they're last right now in the league in yards per game, last in passing yards per game, 25th in third down, 30th in yards per play. They've been low-key struggling the last few games, the last month or so. So I'm interested to see if that shows at all today.
Well, and also, earlier you showed that they've been the hottest scoring offense over the last few weeks. So that, to me, that has something to do with it. If you're scoring a lot of points, then the defense gets stressed because they're on the field a little bit longer, dealing with passes and things like that. So I think sometimes the statistics can be skewed.
That makes sense, yeah. Because I was like, wait a minute, hold up, everybody. All right, let's flip it over to the AFC because most of the intrigue surrounds the wild cards. Currently, the Ravens and Titans, they have a leg up. Both control their own destiny. If you can control your destiny. The Chargers and Bills need wins. Plus, a few things to fall their way. James Palmer, he's in Miami, while Tom Pelissero, oh man, buddy. I cannot believe that you guys, the juxtaposition of you two on the screen, wow. I mean, this is great.
He's got the jacket off.
I know, not even just in your face, everybody. All right,
roll up your sleeves, bro.
So Tom, we're gonna put you on ice for a minute. We're gonna start with James first. And James, what are you looking at today?
Well, first I'm looking at the temperature. My iPhone says it's almost 60 degrees. They've been lying about a couple of things lately, so I'm not entirely sure that's correct. I think this thing might be wrong as well. But speaking of when game time kicks off, there's been some discrepancy, obviously, with that Kelvin Benjamin touchdown or not touchdown last week. But the positive that came out of it, I'm told, is that it showed Tyrod Taylor that he can throw the football up to Benjamin with confidence. I'm told that the chemistry between these two has been growing through practice. Remember, just 3 starts together. LaShawn McCoy said there should be at least 2 jump balls thrown his way in the red zone. Rick Dennison believes his height should equate to points or drawing someone out of the box to help them in the run game. Now, Tom, let's go to you. I could give you my jacket if I could get it up there to give you an extra layer, but sorry, not possible.
James, there's actually workers right now salting the stands after the snow and ice we got yesterday. So I'm sure it's exactly the same type of scene down there in Miami Gardens. Ravens quarterback Joe Flacco did not take a snap in practice until 8 days before the opener because of his back injury. And Flacco admitted to me this week that he was not himself physically for the entire first month of the season. Flacco says he's feeling really good now, and he doesn't think his health has a ton to do with the Ravens' recent hot streak. Flacco credits offensive coordinator Marty Mornhinweg with opening up the offense, something Mornhinweg says he was not comfortable doing until he knew that Flacco was 100%. Flacco has the NFL's longest streak without an interception and 7 touchdown passes in the past 4 games. Trying to keep that going today without receiver Jeremy Maclin, who I'm told really does not have a shot to play on that knee injury. Another receiver, Mike Wallace, should be good to go, Colleen.
All right, Tom, stay warm today. And, you know, it looks like James Palmer is staying warm for you, so that's nice of him. You too. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you again in a little bit. Let's talk about Joe Flacco. He plays his best football down the stretch. We all